Tix! Tix! We need to talk.
Yes, sir? What is your will?
You've done a good job so far, but the stakes are getting higher. As faithful as you have been, the Unnamed One has put a stumbling block in your path. Destiny Seeker is trying to lead you astray.
Surely you don't think it could turn me from your will?
We're taking no chances. And don't call me Shirley.
What is it you want me to do?
You're going to become my paladin! Huh?
Awesome.
Ugh! Rupture's eye socket! They hurt me!
Calm yourself, old girl. You lack patience.
Patience is for monks and basilisk victims. If I could just go in and stab the elk, I wouldn't need to be quiet. How do you move so silently, Osokai?
You still don't understand, do you? Look at me. Hell, look at you. Not exactly field mice.
Then how?
A ranger isn't dominating animals, or felling trees, or burning forests. It's about becoming one with the forest, knowing how it lives, how it breathes. It's about looking dead into the eyes of a deer, and they cannot see you, because you are the forest. And that's what makes you invisible.
Wow.
What?
I think that's the most I've ever heard you say, ever.
Well, get some orcish mead into me and you might even hear me sing. Kidding, I'd sooner be dead than sing. Now, try again. Use your surroundings. Take your time. Be confident in your movements. That's good. Good. Now!
Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 118, Tales from the Crypt. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and lovable Dungeon Master, Michael Corley, and with me tonight is Izzy. Izzy, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Hello, everyone. I will be playing Merezi Mugra, half-orc barbarian, ?
We'll get to that in a second. And also with us tonight is James. James, tell us who you will be playing.
Hello, everybody. I am James. I am playing Penton Chalice, a spell scale sorcerer who's going through some changes again.
Indeed. He is becoming Sorcerer Supreme. And also with us tonight is Dare. Dare, tell us who you will be playing.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dare, and I am playing your favorite gnome cleric. Wait, scratch that. Your favorite big, shiny paladin.
Ooh.
Tix Birchmanson.
Ooh.
Tix Birchmanson, indeed. And also very shiny is Riley. Riley, tell us who you will be playing.
Hi, I'm Riley, and I'm playing Athora Greyfield, just your normal tiefling fighter who can sometimes shoot ice.
Sometimes shoot ice, if it's a nice day out, maybe shoot some ice, for kids. When we last left our characters, they had gone through great perils in the great tundra of Frostspear towards the mountains. They had defeated an ice devil. They had found out great truths from the tiefling Prognati, who had told them that they needed to go to Kalimvor, a city on the north edge of the Sand Swallow Sea, where it is believed that Taka, the monk, may have the true half of the Staff of Seraphim, which they need in order to save the world. This has been aided by the fact that their conveyance, Audrey 3, a chicken hut, can now fly. And with a crazy adventure before with a flying slug and some Kanori, velociraptor lizard folk, which you all defeated and escaped from, you are now landing towards Kalimvor. You can see it out before you. It is a fairly large city, about the size of Masgate, It is one of those cities, like sort of like Alsace-Lorraine, that has been constantly conquered over the years. The original kingdom that you came from, Beltrain, to the east, sometimes is controlling it, and Hyboria to the west sometimes is controlling it. I apologize, I just mixed those up. I'm the Dungeon Master, and I should know these things. Beltrain is to the west, Hyboria is to the east. Sorry about that. But they're constantly battling over control of this central area. It's a important trade route. If you are not crossing the Sand Swallow Sea, which is not a bad idea since it has a kraken, and up until recently some hags. But as you are landing, you can see it spread out before you. You can see the docks, you can see the commerce area, and you can see a great necropolis that stretches off to the east. Technically, by the way, it is currently under the control of Hyboria, which is where you just left, near the Pinta Plains, part of Mascate and all of that kingdom. As you are landing, I have a question for you, Pinton.
Yes.
Where are you going to land? Are you going to land in the city? Or are you going to land just outside the city? Where are you going to land this chicken hut?
I don't know. Is there space to land inside the city?
You absolutely could. Audrey only takes up 5 feet by 5 feet.
Well, that's true.
Her wingspan, of course, is much larger than that. But you could easily land like in a square or something like that if you so chose.
What do you think? Should we make a grand entrance?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, always.
All right, then. So the center of town it is.
You can see this bard, like strumming on his lute near the central fountain. There is a statue of a goddess there, which, if you happen to have been looking out the window, Tix, you would recognize as Lady Isis in the fountain, and as vroom, vroom, you come landing down with a boom in the center, and people start, and a few do scream because they don't know what this is, and you see several town guards approaching. What would y'all like to do?
I stick my head out the front door and say, "Hello, everybody."
Better turn on your glow.
Oh, always, definitely.
Give me a check there, a little charming, little persuasion, if you don't mind.
I can do that. Persuasion. Well, what would we use in this circumstance? Just a straight charisma check, or diplomacy, or
I will definitely allow.
What would you prefer?
I would definitely allow diplomacy.
Well, that's the right answer. That is a 31.
A 31. Okay. So the bard kind of picks himself up and goes, "But I've heard of this. This is the chicken shack."
You know the song?
Yes.
I'd toss you a coin if I had one. Could you play it?
He says, yes, I'll be happy to. And he strums up his lute and he stumbles left, he stumbles right. It looks like they're gonna attack. And he begins to sing it. And you recognize it. It has traveled all the way from Mascate, from Fugly the Bard. It is clearly a very popular song. And the townsfolk recognize you. They know you as heroes who ride around in a chicken shack, though the song, as he says, the songs didn't include wings.
Well, time to add a verse.
And as you step out, as this group steps out, there is a great trumpeting fanfare that comes out because you have all leveled up. You are all now level 8. Wow. How come you didn't mention it to shame me, Lee? Because I didn't introduce you at the beginning of the show.
I'm sitting here going, when do I cut in? You were on a roll, and I'm just like, am I not in this episode? Why not end this episode?
I'm gonna leave this in. No, it is because and the sad part is it's because I'm actually trying to take better notes. I have like official notes for my episode now, as opposed to like chicken scratches. And I have you in the notes, but I don't have you in the review part at the top. And so I forgot to say Distant Bells. Lee, tell everyone who you will be playing.
G'day everybody, my name is Lee. G'day everybody, my name is Lee, and I'll be playing Distant Bells, a feathery friend to nobody.
Oh, you know what it is you succeeded in your stealth roll so hard that I forgot you at the beginning.
Exactly. I'm invisible in the metagame as well.
That's right. You have actually reached out into the metagame, and I cannot see Distant Bells. That is very embarrassing, and I'm totally leaving all of this in to shame myself. So what I would like is I'm gonna go down the list as I had listed you at the beginning of the show, and I would like all of you to say what has changed as you have achieved level 8. I'm going to save 2 for later because there's some real changes with those. But let's start with also some changes with Penton.
All right. Well, not too much has changed. Well, I mean, a few things have changed. He's got level 4 spells now. Well, a level 4 spell because sorcerer. But there's been a slight modification to his dragonborn form that I'll just save as a little surprise for later. But just say there's a few things going on there. Plus, his constitution's gone up a little more, so he actually has some more hit points. It's still negligible compared to everybody else, but there you have it. He might live a little bit longer if somebody comes after him.
Hey, every little bit helps when you're getting hit by a fireball.
Truth.
And speaking of being able to survive fireballs, we have Athora. Athora, Riley, tell us what has happened to her.
Not super much. Just the basic. My charisma's up. I'm no longer a negative of one of them. I'm now a 10. Woo! I have improved critical now, which means 17 and up is a critical hit. So that's exciting.
Dang.
Wow. That is a big deal, especially in our game where critical hits tend to be more catastrophic.
Yeah, so super
both
excited.
ways. Yes. Well, you are a powerful fighter, and that's the kind of things fighters do. So that is very exciting with you, level 8 Athora. And let's also go to Distant Bells.
All right. Well, Bells hasn't changed much. The changes you would expect from him are what have happened. He's gotten quite a lot faster, and he can attack twice now. Also, he can't be flanked.
Nice.
We don't deal with flank a lot because we're not doing this on a grid structure, but I do keep it in mind, especially when y'all are surrounding characters. So this definitely could come in handy in the very near future. Now, talking about some bigger changes, let's start with Merezi.
Hey guys, food's on me now. I learned how to do ranger shit.
So Merezi is level 8, but she's still a level 7 barbarian because I decided it was time to give her a level in ranger. Did not mean to step on Dare's thunder with Tix's paladination, but Merezi has been she, ever since we started the adventure, she's been more interested in living off the land and hunting and engaging in the woods more than just wandering around and letting the Mugra hunting party do all the nature stuff for her. A level 1 ranger doesn't get quite a lot. I mean, she gets a little bit more hit points and base attack bonus. And some skill points that I forgot to add. That's what you always forget something. But she does have the ability to track now, and she does have wild empathy, which means she can do basically do a diplomacy check on any kind of wild or domestic animal. And she now has a favored enemy, a enemy that she has trained has more training in, and she's able to combat with them more effectively. I figured it would make sense that the type of enemy that Morezi has, +2 on bluff, listen, sense motive, spot, and survival checks, and +2 on weapon damage rolls, is the undead.
Oh,
Excellent.
very interesting choice. And I really
Given that our sort of big bad in the distance with the evil villain Twiddly Fingers has got some undead motifs going on, Morezi has been thinking more about whether or not we're going to be facing those again.
that is really good, and I really like the character choice. This is something Izzy had mentioned to me before, that she had been thinking about this because with her and Osokai kind of getting along and working well together and making sense in the character, I really liked that. And also the fact with Osokai being gone, that the responsibility of hunting for game would have fallen more to her, as you said. I just love that character choice. I thought it was really, really well done. But also speaking of changes of that nature, Tix.
Yeah, Tix is quite pleased that Morezi has gone out on a limb and taken up another class, because, as we heard at the beginning of this show, Garl Glittergold reached down and grabbed hold of Tix and said, you have to step up your game and do more on the straight and narrow. So the main changes are that Tix is now going to be a paladin. He has 7 levels in cleric and a 1st level in paladin, and so with the paladin he gains smite evil once a day for +1 damage to an attack. He automatically gets to detect evil whenever he wants, and he finally, at a total of 8 levels, gets a 2nd attack, so that'll be fun for him. But he also got to take a feat, and he took Axe Frenzy. And so that means he can get 1 extra attack on top of that, but at a -4 to his AC for 1 round.
So kind of taking almost a cue from Morezi there, that you can go wild once in a while. I like
That's
it
right.
very much.
Oh, I didn't even check if Morezi gets another feat for her ranger.
And, definitely look and see. You can always update that. But I did want the listeners to hear all of that. Of course, leveling up is such an important and integral part of this game. And I really like what you've all done with your characters, and I'm going to have some fun with that. And as I always like to gently mention and remind, that it was a dark paladin that Tix took Destiny Seeker from.
That's right.
There is an element to that. And the next time you decide to do inflict wounds, do remind me. There is something that I want to mention to you.
Okay.
So, moving along, now that you've come out and there's been like this fanfare and everybody's like, wow, those people look like they're level 8. A official-looking gentleman comes up. He's got really short cropped hair. He's wearing leather armor with kind of a loose plate. He's got like really squinting eyes. And he comes up and he says, may I ask for y'all's business here?
Well, most immediately, I'm in the market for some armor, and then we have to find a place to sell a wyvern in a bottle, and then we are going to be seeking out some very special magical items. All for the saving of the world. He says that casually and offhanded.
He's chewing on it's not even like a piece of hay. It's literally like a stick, like a huge toothpick, and he's kind of like just chewing it in his mouth, and he kind of spits it to the side. And he goes, "Well, and you should enjoy your stay in Kalimvor. I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Magistrate Ulfar Onyxword. And I've heard of you people. Mostly good stuff. I hope that is a justified reputation."
As a paladin of Garl Glittergold, I am sure it is.
We don't have too many followers of Garl out in these parts. Nothing against them, you understand. We are more followers of the Lady Isis from the sea. She protects this little humble abode of ours, and we want to make sure that everything is right and proper for the Salt of the Sea ceremony coming up in a few days.
Ooh, what's that?
Oh, it is a very fun, very festive event. A religious ceremony at its heart, led by the priests of Isis. But also there's a celebration, there's some fireworks. It's all quite a to-do, and there's a great deal of swimming and water festivities that go with it as well. So it's important to make sure that everything is right and proper, and that's why I came out here to check on all of you.
Well, we're thankful that you came out to greet us. Penton, what would you like to do next?
Well, I don't know. I think I'd like to learn more about the place that we're going to be adventuring into in the near future. Get some more history about it and see what we can find out.
Well, the one I can help you with is if you are in the market for some armor, Master Blacksmith Thakma Cragmane can definitely help you. And he kind of gestures to the north. And he goes, you can certainly head that way and people can point you in the right direction.
Thank you very much. How about an artificer that would be interested in buying a bottled wyvern?
We don't have too many artificers in town, but I could possibly put you in touch with a wizard or two that might be interested in such a thing.
Please.
It does take up a lot of space.
He looks at the chicken chat, which is the size of a porta potty. And he, like, almost supernaturally, you are so good at staying hidden and out of sight. Suddenly he turns and he looks at you, Distant Bells. And it's just like, this is the moment where the sheriff looks at the guy who just looks like maybe he steals things.
That's profiling, and I won't have it.
He is absolutely profiling the dark feathered guy in the cloak, and he says, "And who might you be?"
Well, this should be good.
Bells kind of cocks his head to the side and blinks, and then just the sound of far-off church bells.
Ah, well, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Distant Bells.
Bells kind of stops and takes a step back and just kind of... He turns his head to the side and looks and is like...
You are not the
Thank
only...
you.
You are most welcome. You are not the only of your kind that we have in this fair hamlet. And,
Bells immediately steps forward and goes, "Where? Please."
Actually, you, I know some of them are employed with one of the local magistrate. I'm sorry, magistrate. I said magistrate. That is not correct. With, I told you I took notes. With Alderman Burza Badgen, Alderman Burja Badgen, has at least one of your fine Kinko folk employed.
Bells looks at the rest of the party and says, "Give me directions, please."
He gives them to you. It's literally towards the center of y'all are in the town square, but like the sort of seat of government is where the alderman is.
Bells kind of inclines his head respectfully and asks, and gives him 3 sounds essentially, and asks, "Are any of them here?"
Your kinfolk, Kinku? I believe so. I have not seen them in some days, but I know that at least one of them works for the alderman.
He's like you said, he makes noises of names like hummingbird's wings, a boiling cauldron, and the sound of falling rain on flagstones.
I am not familiar with any of those, I am afraid.
He inclines his head. Appreciate it anyway. And he kind of steps back into the shadows. What little shadows? Well, actually, is this place the Kalimvor of like it's dark and dank even during the day because it's like a necropolis essentially.
So there, and I appreciate you asking that because of course I am liberally stealing from actual lore from the wider D&D universe, but this is a distinct Kalimvor with the exception that it does have a large necropolis. But it is actually a think of it more like like if you went to a medieval fair, but the medieval fair was real. That's what this Kalimvor is like. It's like a bustling medieval village.
So he steps back into the shadows of the hut.
Okay, and the magistrate turns once more, actually to you, Athora, and he goes, "Ma'am, may I have your name?"
Athora.
Thor, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I do not mean to be indelicate. Do you have any enemies?
Well, bandits, I guess, but I mean, I'm with them, so yeah.
That's
Well,
a yes. Guilt by association with this crew.
Ma'am, this is non-accusatory. Please understand, I know that tieflings are not always welcome in all places, but I wish to inform you, as the magistrate for Kalimvor, that there have been some attacks on tieflings in the last week.
Oh.
So I urge caution for you, ma'am.
Okay. Well, thank you.
He tips his non-existent hat. You can almost imagine him wearing a cowboy hat. And he says, "Well, I'm going to take my due. You can find me at the magistrate office," and he gestures to the south, heading towards the docks. If you need something else, I hope you enjoy your stay in Kalimvor, and if the stories are true from what is filtered on from Mascade, you were quite helpful with an incident in the dock. Is that not correct?
That is us. We do our
We
best
try.
to help out when we get around.
Incident, you'll have to be a little more specific.
I understand that a ship crashed into the docks, and several most unpleasant creatures, including flaming skeletons, came
Yes, the flaming skeletons.
marching towards, and the local militia was nearly overwhelmed, but you stood your ground, is the way the story came to me.
More or less, yeah.
We had
Oh,
people.
and the mimic captain. Oh, the mimic captain. He was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember there being tentacles involved, but maybe that's just me.
Bells has no
Tentacles.
idea. He just cocks his head and is like, oh.
That is after your time. That did include Osokai making a flying leap with barely any hit points to smash into a flaming skeleton,
That
which is
that
perhaps
was a fun risk from the big fella.
it really needed to be spray brushed onto the side of a van.
You should paint it on the side of Audrey.
If Osakai's rocking, don't bother knocking.
Oh,
So
God.
he tips his non-existent hat again and begins to make his way off. Is there anywhere particular that y'all would like to go now?
Well, I have a place I'd like to go, but the rest of them I don't know.
Tix will ask Pinton and Distant Bells if we could go find the wizards first and divest ourselves of the Wyvern in a bottle. And
You're really
then,
keen on this.
then we can go find Distant Bells people, and then Tix would really like to go become more paladin-like with some big shiny armor.
Bells kind of grips his daggers at the mention of the word wizard and just kind of... There's definite reticence in his position, his stance. The concept of going anywhere near a wizard's tower is uncomfortable.
Yes, definitely. Things come to mind of a certain Zerul.
Indeed. But he will go. He will steel himself and go because he is not 8 years old anymore. He's 17.
That's right. How old is Morezi?
How long is the, how many years have passed throughout the set?
I would actually say about 1 year has passed since your adventures began.
She's 18.
So she's quite the elderly orc. But yes, y'all have all aged a whole year.
Sorry, he's 16. My bad.
There you go. So he is ancient beyond all reckoning as well. So you make your way to the area that was indicated. There is well, for lack of a better term, there's a wizard's tower. But do not think about like some, 50 feet tall, towering with lightning striking. It is, maybe like 4 stories tall. I mean, it's still imposing, because most of the places here are 1 or 2 story. And it is definitely a wizard's tower. And there is a guard standing out front.
The closer we get to the tower, the slower Bells' walking begins to become.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do actually have somewhere that Morezi would like to go at some point, but it's a certain shop.
Okay.
Morezi is in the market for a ranged weapon.
Well, there's certainly the blacksmith may be able to help you with that, but also you would be able to go to a weapons store, a military supply store type place.
Indeed. Are those here?
Yes, there is a store, a shop like that in town.
Welcome to Jackson's Militia Surplus.
Oh man, now I just there is nothing that's more delightful for me than listening to Lee do American accents. Or was that you, James? Sorry.
No, that was definitely not me.
Okay, just checking. You did such a good job, Lee. I thought that was James for a second. Guard out front asks what your business is.
Something with arrows, I believe.
Oh no, I'm sorry. This is the Wizard's Tower.
Sorry.
It still stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a Wyvern in a bottle that we want to get off our hands. We're looking to sell it.
All right. Wait here. He goes inside, and there's a long. Y'all are out there for about like 15 minutes or so, and it's by the way, you are no longer in the distant north, so it is cool because it's maybe like the tail end of winter now. but it's by no means freezing or anything.
During the waiting period, Bells would like to look for signs of Kinku slaves.
Okay. So you look for the telltale signs, the perfectly made items. Perhaps like there is a sign out front that identifies this as the residence of the wizard Darma Zamar. It has lots of honorifics, the great, and the knowledgeable and the all-seeing Darma Zamar.
BA honors.
Yes, BS, Esquire, and so forth. But you do not see any of the telltale signs of just a perfectly made lettering or something like that just screams Kinku at you.
His grip on his dagger relaxes slightly. He's not. There's no way he's trusting this guy, but this is at least a good sign for now.
The door bursts open, and you can see the guard coming behind, whoa, 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 and the just straight up wizard, just every single wizard comes out.
With two Z's on his cap as well.
With what?
2 Z's on his cap.
Where is that from?
Rincewind. He can't spell wizard, so he's got wizard on his on his hat.
I have not consumed that media. I apologize.
Oh, that's Terry Pratchett.
Okay, yeah. I have
novels.
not actually read the Discworld and such. So.
Oh, you really should. Get him on audiobook if you can, because the late Sir Terry was... it's probably one of my favourite things, and Rincewind is definitely up your alley, along with the luggage. I think the luggage is definitely something you get a kick out of.
Well, for simplifications, there are 2 Z's on there, but they're unrelated to the spelling. He just has 2 Z's on his hat for some reason.
That's great.
It is a conical hat. He's got flowing robes with sigils on them. Just every single trope of a wizard you can imagine. Even the little tiny spectacles that are perched on the end of a long nose. And he comes out and he goes, "Where is it? Where is this wyvern you speak of?"
I turn around and ask Morezi and Athora to bring out the bottle.
This is a fascinating construct you have here. Is it for sale? And he goes over and he starts poking Audrey's legs, and Audrey kind of shifts away.
I kind of try. I mentally try to help her calm down. It's like, no, she's with us.
Oh, are you quite certain a wizard can offer a much greater control than others? And he kind of, you have come across this a few times, Fenton. Some wizards don't think a whole lot of sorcerers.
Yeah, he's not a real spellcaster.
Exactly. And you know it like that. You just that one glance, and you're like, yeah.
I'm gonna turn on my my charm and walk up to him and hit the soft glow and I think we'll do just fine, thank you.
All right. Just for those listening, so wizards get their magic through long, hard study. They work
boring.
It's very, very boring, and they spend a lot of time in towers, in schools, just learning specific bits of magic and forcing themselves on the magic world. Sorcerers, they're gifted to magic. Magic is just what they do. So
they're special lavender children.
So to be brutally honest, wizards are the lesser, just because they have to study and force themselves into the magic world. Whereas sorcerers, magic just comes to them. Magic chooses them. Wizards have, like I said, wizards have to get in there and grab magic for themselves, and magic's just like, I choose that guy, the sorcerer. So
wizards are nerds.
Make of that information what you will.
Not everybody gets to be born with dragon blood, you know?
Wizards definitely do not see it that way. So as y'all go inside, Thora and Morezi, you have the physical strength to move this bottled wyvern. There's a bottled wyvern inside your chicken hut. There's even a stand. There's even just like a ship in a bottle. But here's the thing: as you start to back out, Audrey's door actually telescopes smaller,
Ooh.
not permitting you to leave.
Oh, is it her pet? Oh.
Well, you'd know.
Does Audrey... I kind of like quiz out a mental image from Audrey to see like what's going on.
So Audrey does not speak to you directly in words. It's kind of
Right.
like your original link with Aphil, who we have established canonically has a little nest on top of Audrey.
Yeah.
She communicates images and ideas to you. And you see the image of a wyvern just soaring free through the sky. And that's all you get. But it is a possessive, and Audrey does not want to give up the bottled wyvern.
Guys, I think Doug is her mojo. Did I mention I named it Doug?
Spelled
makes me very
D-U-G. Spelled D-U-G.
Sorry, nerd man. Change of plans. We can't get rid of Doug. Keep it sleazy.
But this is absurd. I will pay you 1,000 gold for this wyvern, this bottled wyvern.
Oh,
I don't know if I've even used gold since I've started this adventure. Our big house likes it.
That's ridiculous. It is your construct. You control it. Tell it what to do.
well, that's
That's-
the thing about constructs. They take on a life of their own, and if you treat them right, they take care of you. And so, my mistake. I apologize for the inconvenience. Maybe I'll look you up sometime when we have something else to trade. All right, Penton. I apologize. My bad.
Oh no, I didn't realize she had such a strong connection to the bottle. It's new to me.
And by the way, to your credit, there was no indication whatsoever before. But also, once y'all immediately acquiesce and say no, there is a wave of gratitude that comes over to you, Penton.
Oh yeah, she definitely doesn't want to lose this thing. She's happy we're not selling it.
And he says, "What are there any other items of interest that you might be interested in selling to me?"
I don't know. Do you guys have anything? Because I sure don't.
We're about at the end for special items.
You ever need regents? I've got in my bag here.
She roots into this little nasty pack. Wait, okay. Fact check me if this is wrong, but I definitely have this written down.
It's kind of singed, but I got some chitin here from a devil.
Yeah. And I can't remember if it was you or not. Who broke off the mandible of the Umber Hulk? Because somebody did that.
Oh, I think that was me.
Yeah. Okay.
I
like
definitely
you.
want. That's definitely something I would have done.
Yeah. I need to keep better track of these things, but yes.
Spell components, man.
He kind of looks at you and leans in. He goes, "Is that truly from an ice devil?"
Yeah, he was a jerk.
We embarrassed him to death.
Oh God, I forgot. I can't believe I forgot about that.
You did. Y'all did. Y'all literally did.
Oh, it was amazing. Did Bells collect blood from somewhere? I can't remember. I didn't note it down, so probably not.
Well, the
gathered blood from something.
chitin
If
of
only
the
we-
ice devil does not disintegrate, so it is still pristine.
If only we had some sort of wiki to keep track of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Turns to the camera.
Yes, your poor dungeon master. He needs to work harder and get that converted. since I have a basic wiki, but I have not yet converted it for public consumption because it's full of spoilers. So I do need to get on that.
If you've been taking better notes than the campaign members, then please get in contact with Mr. Corley. At
there you go.
Exactly.
Mr. Corley at gmail.com. He will offer you, Merezi, 25 gold for this Ice Devil chitin.
Nice. Sure thing.
And he snaps to the guard who is kind of upset because he's a guard and not a porter, but he does go and get the gold and gives it to you, and he's quite happy to have it. And he actually looks over to you, Distant Bells, and he says, "Are you looking for employment?" And he gives you like a big smile.
It's not possible for a Kenku to bare his teeth. Bells does it.
Well, like all your feathers, like boom.
Good bristle.
Oh yeah, Bells bristles, and it is like he makes no attempt to hide the fact that he half unsheathes the daggers and just kind of takes a step forward.
I would like you to make an intimidate check.
Works for me, because I just put points into intimidate. Lots of points, in fact. Ooh, 24.
Yes. So I've overused this trope a little bit, but a fine stream of urine travels down the side of his robes as he steps backwards, and he's like, "I meant to no disrespect. Your kind is. Never mind." And he
Don't even say it.
He literally turns and he runs back into his tower. And the guard doesn't know whether to stay out or to go in, and then finally he goes in after him, and the door shuts.
I'm just gonna.
Bells relaxes and just kind of there's a childish giggle, like a giggle of a toddler, just kind of comes in.
And you actually see, you recognize it, Pinton, as a type of magic armor, like a shield, goes up around the tower.
Oh.
He literally, activates the raise the shields. He is that freaked out by this encounter. And,
well, I don't think we're going to be hearing from him again.
And that's when y'all hear a blood-curdling scream.
From?
You don't know. It is a scream. It is a woman's scream, and it is coming
from the top of the tower.
It is actually coming. Yeah. It is actually coming from the south, heading towards the docks.
Aha. This is where we spring into action. Or at least I do.
I mean, Bells is already off.
I spring into some action.
Mostly to get away from this tower. It's still that whole thing. Just no.
Plus the urine smell.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Especially wizard urine. You don't know what they eat.
And Tix strikes a pose, hands on hips, chin in the air. It sounds like somebody needs our help.
Oh my god, is this what we've come to? Oh,
What?
this is going to be intolerable.
I like the way Tix talks. Finally, someone normal.
Well, on the other side, Tix's alignment is now he has to be lawful good in everything that he does.
Tix Butchman, he's our man, hero of our
I
nation.
never really talk about how Merezi is chaotic neutral.
Yeah,
I should explore that.
I don't
think we
put
figured that
too many
out.
restrictions. I don't put too many restrictions on your characters based on alignment unless it comes in direct conflict to that alignment, or obviously in world, things that affect good or evil. Because I don't care that much, but I do like it to guide your character's actions.
Right.
And when you are doing something like a paladin who has extra abilities and bonuses, it really does matter.
Yes, it does.
And especially interesting when you have an axe who may have different opinions. As you all hurry towards, I assume, Pinton, are you just telling Audrey to follow you, or?
If it's possible, I mean, I don't want her like walking on rickety docks or anything. So,
Well, and I should clarify, y'all are not at the docks. You're just heading towards the docks.
Right.
So this is like a semi residential / with like the kind of places where it has the place of living overhead and the shop down below. Not unlike your friend Scald in her jewelry shop. And that's where you see the screaming coming from ahead. There is a woman, and she is kneeling over the body of someone who is very dead. Someone who is very dead because they have been partially eaten.
Oh.
It is a young male tiefling. And that's where we'll end! Chafing Armor, episode 118. Great job, everybody.
Thanks.
Huzzah!
Hello.
Congratulations on leveling up.
Doo-doo-doo.
We will find out more about that. We will get your characters fulfilling some of their side quests, and we'll find out what's going on with this mysterious corpse next time. If someone wants to listen to Chafing Armor, what would be one place they can do it?
YouTube.
Spotify.
YouTube. That is absolutely right. You can go to the YouTubes and listen to it there, where actually a lot of our listeners do. You can go to virtually any podcast app, Spotify or iTunes or the Android app, and hear Chafing Armor.
Not to mention directly from our website.
That's right. You can also go to chafingarmor.com and check it out there. But thank you all, guys.
Thank
you
you.
for not
I had a nice time.
Yay! Well, y'all all have a wonderful evening, and we will play with you. Play with you? Well, that's upsetting. And
That's
we
disturbing.
will roll with you soon. I'm leaving that in.